Hi, everybody! Today we're going to see how I draw Commander Gree from Star Wars. Just so you know, there's a coloring book that you can get through Amazon. Just follow the link in my description and you can get a coloring book to show me how you color to how I draw. Okay, pencils first and then Sharpies. So if you don't want to watch the pencil portion of the video where I sketch the entire thing out, look in the description and you'll find a link that you can click on that will take you to the Sharpie portion of the video. I'll even include one for color. But for those of you that are going to stick around, I'm going to start off with a quick sketch for myself and get us going. Alright, you guys and your troopers. Everybody wants troopers. So we're doing more troopers. Okay. I'm going for more of a, I was going to say stoic, but not the stoic pose. More of a worn, battle-worn commander pose, right? Like, he's not fighting right now. He's in the middle of just standing there. Standing at attention. Not really worn down, but a little worn down, a little sad, a little tired of fighting. You know, maybe Commander Gree is. He's seen a lot in his time. He's seen a lot of war in his days, and yeah, I'm just trying to write a story as I'm as I'm doing this. But I mean, it kind of writes his own story, right? I mean. You know, Star Wars, you know, there's already a story. But I mean, you also got to think about it too. They could be worn, they could be tired, they could be done with battle. You know, it's like, how many battles do you have to fight? They were made to do this, but how long do they really want to be doing this? You know, that kind of thing. Let's see, let's get some ruler in here real fast just to try to get some kind of straight line. We could still do it by hand, but I gotta get at least something, right, to make sure I get something. Right? Okay. But yeah, anyway, so the story behind my drawing is old Suspenders Gree. Why do they have suspenders? What is that for? I mean, I get it. Everybody's gotta have something a little different to set them aside from just a normal trooper, right? I guess. But there's a part of me that's like, well, what's that for? What is that for? What are those? You know? That's how I look at it sometimes. Because everybody has to have something a little different. Like, who is Cody? What's with that visor? Why do you want a sight restricting piece of clothing if your life is on the line? You know what I mean? I mean, it's cool, don't get me wrong, I like it, but you know, from a practical point of view, there's a part of me, it's like, why do you want to restrict your eyesight if your life is on the line, you know? So it's just kind of funny to me sometimes, just to think stuff through. But again, you know what, hey, that's successful, everybody likes it, so they're doing something right, you know? Can't harp on them too much about why you're doing this. Why? Because it sells. It sells Star Wars, it sells the games, it sells fun, right? So who am I to say that's silly? But it's my opinion. That's really what it comes down to, my silly opinion. Okay, so let me try to figure out some kind of helmet here. And the nice thing about a lot of these troopers that everybody wants me to draw is it's pretty much just color, and that's the frustrating part for me, because that's where I'm like, well, just draw it a different color, you know. But I know everybody wants a different pose, or they want to see, you know, so many words, how I draw, right? Because they want to draw it too. But that's part of the nice thing about doing these drawings is it's pretty much just, I hate to say it like this, like it's the same thing over and over. I don't mean by that. What I'm saying is, it's nice to be able to get comfortable with drawing the details in the face, because in so many words, it's the same mask, you know? Just more practice at it. That's what it comes down to. That's how I look at it. I mean, either way, it's fun to draw. I love drawing Star Wars, no matter what it is. And if I gotta draw troopers over and over again, I gotta draw troopers over and over again. So you're welcome. I will continue to take your requests and do your trooper requests. But I'm also going to talk about it, talk smack about it, because it's not Chewbacca. You know, it's not. Anyway. Okay, I think I'm happy with that sketch. Let me erase some of these sketch lines. Where's my eraser? Here it is. Let me erase some of these sketch lines real quick, and then we can get going. Because normally this is just placement. That's really all it is. And then the details, I really want to do those with Sharpie anyway. So as I start pressing harder, the confidence lines, they stick around. And I'm just erasing the sketch lines, really. So I'm kind of leaving myself a little bit of a guide, but getting rid of the stuff I don't want. And then I'll come back and redo with the Sharpie. Okay, I think that's good enough. I just like that tacky sound. Okay. So let's welcome everybody that skipped and get going, alright? Welcome, skippers. Welcome to the Sharpie portion of the video. Don't forget to like and subscribe because I do a different drawing every day. You can join along and have some fun. I'm going to be using a Sharpie fine point and a Sharpie pen. Mostly the fine point, but a pen's a little finer than the fine point. You can find things that a fine point can't quite find. Sketched the entire thing out. I've erased the majority of the sketch lines, but left myself enough to see where we're going to go. And if you want to see more troopers, more Star Wars stuff, check out this playlist and go, you know what, if you want to see anything in general, go look at the playlist, because chances are I've already done what you want to see. I've drawn quite a lot. So I'm going to dive right in with the Sharpie pen, and because I can control the line width much better, and I'm just going to jump right into the eyes, because after I've sketched it, I know exactly where it's going to go, and I can just float stuff. So I'm going to float me some eyes across like this. Looks good. Not straight, but that's okay. I'm fine with that. I can clean it up, or I can leave it like it is, but either way, I'm fine. Looks good to me, so let's draw his little visor look, or his eye socket visor thing. What would you call this? Visor, I guess? This. Come down for his nose thing. Everything's going to be a thing. We'll call this his nose thing, his eye thing. Now we're going to draw his mouth thing. That's just, I don't know, it's just how I'm feeling today. I'm feeling frisky, feeling silly. I'm going to draw his little top visor thing. I should have drawn it open so we can actually color that in, but I already did it too thick, so I'm just going to color it in black. Like that. And I'm going to draw his jawline, right? His, not jawline, but his little, what do you call it? His little cheekbone lines. Like this. Also to kind of give me an idea of where we are. And then I'm going to draw his little mouth. That, and it's open a little, right? So boy, this is hard to do when I can't turn my paper. And I guess I can draw the little teeth, connect that down. It's almost so small it's kind of pointless to do. I'll just do a few like that. Let's see, so his other part's going to be down here. I'm going to go ahead and just draw kind of like the overall, the way I would have faced, like the chin, all that kind of stuff, just to get a placement. And then I'm going to come back and add some extra details. So let's see, this is going to come in like this. This is the outer edge, like that. And mostly I'm just kind of jumping around with parts like this just to be able to place a few things, you know. But also, again, it's nice that I sketched it out because that tells me where things are going to go, and I'm able to actually judge where things are going to be. So the front little respirator part, your interlockable changing part, I'm going to do like this, and again, I've sketched it out, so that's why I know where it's going to be, and continue back further like this. Now, I'm going to start to thicken up my outer edges just because when I switch over to this, you're going to see a huge difference in line width. I know what that's going to look like, so that's why I'm preparing for it. You don't have to if you're working with pencil, and you don't have to at all. I'm just explaining to you why I draw the way I draw. Just remember, this is how I draw. You draw, we'll meet somewhere in between. But again, you don't have to do it. You know, you do what you want. So there's that little indentation right there. So I'm gonna do it like that. And then I can come up for the side. And I'm kind of doing both sides together, huh? But it kind of helps too, because I kind of want it to look like somewhat symmetrical, you know? And sometimes I'll forget about one thing as I'm moving over, and I just wanted to make it look like it's supposed to be all one piece, you know? Or manufactured. That's what I like to say, that it looks like it was made. Alright, so I'm going to draw his top of his dome like this. And see, it's not perfect, and that's okay. So A, I can come back and clean it up. B, I'm okay if it's not perfect. I'm fine with that. Let me draw his little mohawk. His little cool hawk. And of course, the rest of it we'll do with color. As long as I got the basic shapes, that's fine. Then we'll make the rest of it stand out with his cool deco, right? All right, I think I'm good with that mask. Let me switch over to the other Sharpie, because a lot of times I use this for face stuff and for tiny details like that, because this is a little too big sometimes, but you know, that's what I'm trying to do. So what I always tell you to do is draw what's in front first, and then you draw what's behind. So he's holding his gun in front of him first. So let's draw down to that, and then I can show you what I'm doing. So his shoulder pads, his little, I already laughed about this, his little suspender pads are going to be over his shoulders like this. And then you can see his armor. Like that. You can't really see much of a neck, but we'll just do something like this, then highlight a little bit of. I know this looks weird, but just give me a second. We'll just do kind of something like that for the armor underneath. So these are going to be suspenders coming down, but I can't really finish them until I draw the gun, so I'm not going to worry about those. Just leave those floating for a second. I'm going to draw his shoulder over here, or his shoulder pad, something like that. Then his arm piece, his bicep piece is here, but it's cut off by the gun. So here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna draw that down to about where the gun's gonna be. Okay? Now I'm gonna draw the gun, and the gun's going across. I'm gonna draw that handle. It's kind of holding it up here. And this is gonna kind of guide me as to the direction we're going. I've already drawn it with a ruler to kind of give me a straight edge. So I'm just kind of eyeballing that. Then I'm going to add bumps and manufacture parts. So what I like to do is say, you know, someone makes this stuff. Someone supplies the Empire with weapons. Someone has to design all this. So I like to make sure that it has built parts, stuff like that. Plus it helps break up the monotony, you know. Let's connect this now that I can. His forearm is kind of in front of the top edge. So before I continue, let me do this. I'm going to draw the bottom of the gun, and then where the forearm's coming over, you can see his armor, like that, because it's kind of resting and then falling over the armor right there. Like this, so that means the elbow piece is back here, underneath it. So it's kind of confusing. It's like this is on top, but then this becomes on top. It's just the way things are overlapping, but it's just a good way to think of things. You know, drawing what's on top kind of thing. Okay, and he's got one trigger finger out. The other ones are around the gun, so you can't really see them. So now I have that planned. I can draw the rest of the gun. I have his fingers holding this edge of the gun because he's just kind of holding it down. So let's do this. I've got his hand wrapped around it, so I have to make sure I plan for that. Well, I did. So there's the pinky, the ring finger, middle finger, and then we're going to stretch the index one out just a little bit, like this. So that way he's kind of doing this, okay? Thumb is over it, obviously. And so now I can draw the rest of the gun, and now that I have kind of a direction, I'm going to kind of play around with the line like this. Watch this. Let's do this. Or should we do it the other way? No, let's do it like this. So I'm going to come in, then give it a bump. That. And then I'm going to come here, because it's got like these extra pieces on it that I want to kind of highlight like this, but it gives me a straighter edge. Just to kind of to follow and to add on to. You don't really have to use a ruler like I am. You can do what you want, do it however you like. But I kind of wanted to make it look a little straight, you know, so sorry, I guess I should have told you we're going to use a ruler. I didn't really plan on it, but I just decided, yeah, let's use it. Just to give it that manufactured look. Okay, so here's what we're gonna do. Let me add some detail. Now, of course, his armor and all that stuff, it has its own detail, so I'm not worried about that. But detail to this weapon. So that's what I was talking about, that I like the manufactured look to make it look like it actually has parts built into it, you know? Just little stuff like that, just to kind of break up the negative space. And we'll say, how about we do a few lines on the edge like this. Again, just to break up the negative space and make it look a little different. Okay, I think that's good. Maybe we'll do like a end piece for the, what do you call it, the stock. But the thing about them with armor is that's all you really got to do. You can't do much more anyway, so you're good. Okay, so now that I have an edge, I can draw the rest of his armor. So I'm going to bring the suspender piece down like this, and that's going to tuck into his armor, which is underneath there, so I'm not too worried about whether you can see it or not. And then we're going to say the armor piece is up like this, and it's coming down, and so now you can see this suspender piece. It's tucked in underneath. Not too sure why, but it is. And so there you go, and that's what I wanted, those things underneath the suspenders. So that's why you kind of have to plan what's going to happen. There's his chest, the edge of his suspenders, and then his armor to his belt piece. Okay, let me add a little bit of extra detail here. And also, see how thick these lines are? That's what I was talking about, how I'd like to try to thicken these up just to try to make it match. Again, if you're working with pencil or whatever you're working with, you don't have to do this. I'm just showing like I like to do it just to try to match the thickness, to try to control this thickness, because sometimes it's out of control. You know, it's too much sometimes, honestly. Can't really see too much going on here. Something like that. Okay, so the other arm is back behind him here, but you can't really see as much because of the way things are placed. So we're going to draw his shoulder piece, bicep piece coming down like this. You can see a little bit of the strap for the elbow piece, then cloth, armor, and going down to the gun. But again, it's all back behind it, so you can't really see anything else. That's it. All where it connects and all that, it's all hidden. We'll draw that hand piece right there over that. But that's it. Again, color is going to take care of most of this, but that's all you can see anyway. So I'm not too worried about the detail. You know, it's going to be color. Same thing, his belt, all that stuff, it's all kind of hidden by everything else that's going on here. So we'll say you can see a little bit of it like this, right? That's the little, the greeblies, the extra belt pouch pieces. But again, you can't really see much because of everything that's here. You know? But again, that's why you plan. You draw the gun first because you only have to draw so much underneath to make it look convincing. All right, so his crotch piece is going to come down here like this. Going to go over this way. And his leg, going to draw the armor like this. And it's kind of almost one complete piece, but not quite. So I'm going to draw the knee pad first, and that's going to tuck under, come back, and draw the outside like that. Okay, connect that real fast. And their armor does have a little bit of detail to it, so I'm going to do it, but it's pretty much going to disappear once we color it up. But I like giving it a little bit of detail because it's got a nice look to it. And here, this is cloth, so I like to add just like some stress lines to show that that stuff bends, you know? All right, let's do the other leg, and he's got a gun holster on that side, so I'm gonna come over here for the front of the gun. Oops, it's a little bit far out, but that's okay. We'll say that's the gun. I didn't mean to draw it out that far. We'll say that's the gun, and that's gonna be held on by this holster, something like this. Then his the rest of his thigh is coming like that into the armor, or into the knee pad, I guess. Go back, then up like that. Connect it real fast. Again, you can't really see that much on that side. I'm gonna draw the little detail we talked about. Draw some creases. Get into his knees. So same thing, I'm going to draw a little bit of a kneecap on the side right there. Let me add some detail here because it's got like this middle line thing, like that. That's what that is. Okay. All right. So same thing. We're just going to draw some legs, some armored legs. That, and it all connects here like this, like it goes underneath like that. So that's why from the front it looks like it's overlapping. It kind of is, you know, but from the front it looks like almost like one complete piece, but it's just because of the way things are overlapping. And then I like to draw, like I said, the little bit of cloth underneath, like it's you know, he's got to have what do you call it, a suit underneath. It can't just be all armor, right? Okay, and so now just some military boots, the old space boots, the old trooper boots. This one's off to the side, and they've got like this little like lace protector thing. It's like that down to the heel. That, and again, I'm just going to add just a tad of detail because color is really going to come out for this one. And again, I'm just kind of doing this to kind of make it like used, you know, a little bit of worn armor. Okay, so there you go. I say we take care of the rest with color. So that is Commander Gree from Star Wars. So here's how I colored it. Tell me what you think in the comments below, or show me what you did in our Discord group. Just have fun and make it your own, because remember, this is how I draw. You draw how you draw, and we'll meet somewhere in between.
Don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more adventures with How I Draw. Plus, don't forget to hit that notification button for new videos.